Welcome, glorious devotees, to another presentation of Sri Madhurya Kadambini, The Monsoon Clouds of Sweetness, by Srila Visvanatha Cakravarti Ṭhakura. We'll continue in this presentation to discuss the attributes of sadhana bhakti. At this point in his presentation, Viswanath will go into a detailed analysis of some of the 10 offenses to the holy name, bringing out significant points from those offenses that are most troublesome, and also those offenses that are philosophically misunderstood. So we will continue today with Sādhu Nindā. Vishwanath writes, Sādhu Nindā, or blaspheming Vaishnavas, is the first of the 10 nam-aparads. Ninda also means hatred, enmity, and such. If someone accidentally commits this offense, then he should counteract it by repenting as follows. Oh, I am so sinful that I have offended the sadhus. Since it is said that only the application of heat brings relief to one who has been burned, I shall fall down at the feet of the very person I have offended and pacify them. Thus, to nullify the offense of Sādhu Nindā, one should, with a repentant heart, pay obeisances, glorify, and give respects to the very sadhu he has offended. If for some reason the person one has offended cannot be satisfied by repeated efforts, then one should serve him favorably for many days in a continued attempt to do so. If the offense is so grave that the Vaishnava's anger cannot be calmed by any means, then one should repent. Shame on me. Despite my efforts, I have been unable to find pardon for the offense I have committed, so I am surely destined for 1,000,000 hellish births. In extreme remorse, he should take constant and exclusive shelter of Nam Sankirtan, giving up all other activities. By the divine power of Nam Sankirtan, such a penitent person will one day be freed from his offense. Vishwanath continues, on the other hand, if one thinks, the Shastras say the holy name destroys the sins of even those who commit nam-aparad, so what need is there for repeatedly humbling myself at the feet of such a sadhu? I should simply take the shelter of Nam Sankirtan as the best way of nullifying the offense. This attitude will just make him guilty of committing an offense on the strength of chanting. Let us take a deeper look at Sādhu Nindā. Some think that if sadhus commit forbidden acts, it is not offensive to criticize them, since that is simply stating an actual fact. However, Sridhar Swamipad, in commenting on Srimad Bhagavatam, presents the following, Nindanam no sakirtanam. Whether one speaks the truth or not, narrating the faults of a sadhu is considered blasphemous. From the Chaitanya Bhagavat, we hear the following, no benefit comes out of blasphemy, only sin. For this reason, the great devotees never criticize others. One who becomes free of blasphemy and chants Krishna's name even once is quickly delivered by the Lord. From the Skanda Purana, there are 6 types of Vaishnava aparad, all of which are sources of fall down. To kill a Vaishnav, to blaspheme him, to hate him, to not welcome him if he comes to your door, to be angry with him, and to not rejoice on seeing him. One can go further and add all manner of negative feelings toward the sadhus, such as speaking ill of them, distrusting them, disrespecting them, being envious of their activities, and having enmity toward them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Srila Rupa Goswami, the mad elephant offense of blaspheming a Vaishnava uproots and breaks the bhakti creeper. The leaves of the creeper thus dry up. Its gardener, the sadhaka devotee, should carefully protect his bhakti creeper by fencing it all around to protect it from the mad elephant offense. Viswanath continues, does Sādhu Nindā apply only to pure devotees? Some people think that because the Shastras describe the sadhu as one who fully follows the Vaishnava Dharma and possesses qualities such as compassion, non-envy, and universal tolerance, Sādhu Nindā therefore means criticizing only such devotees. But this is not so. For in the discussion of this offense in the Padma Purana it is said, even a sinful person with all bad qualities who lacks proper behavior, is wicked, fallen, and deceitful, is liberated if he takes shelter of the lotus feet of Govinda. The point being made here is that if even an ill-behaved person who worships the Lord can be called a sadhu, and should therefore not be blasphemed, then how much more careful we must be with advanced devotees. Krishna instructed Uddhava, O Uddhava, the best among sadhus is one who is merciful, not defiant, tolerant, forgiving, truthful, free from envy, who seeks the welfare of all, is free from lust, has controlled senses, is mild, clean, without material possessions, indifferent to material activities, a moderate eater, peaceful, sober, calm, patient, unaffected by the 6 bonds, humble, respectful, expert in giving solace and comfort, friendly, compassionate, and wise. This could lead one to think, only a person possessing these virtues can be called a true saint. Therefore, blaspheming such persons is what is really meant by this first offense to the holy name, and not criticizing other lesser persons. Clearly, a sadhu who takes offense over trivial issues and refuses to pardon someone who asks for forgiveness does not have the above qualities. Thus, it is not offensive to criticize them. Quoting from the Padma Purana, Vishwanath rectifies such thinking. Sanat Kumar said to Narada, O Brahman, persons lacking proper behavior, who are fallen, deceitful, full of false ego, absorbed in the bodily conception, drunkards, cruel, irreligious, low-born, hard-hearted, attached to money, children, and wife, and fallen in all respects, can also be liberated if they take shelter of Govinda's lotus feet. Krishna himself instructs in the Bhagavad Gita, Apichat suduracharo, bhajate mam ananyabhak, sadureva samantavya, samyag vyavasito hisa. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Krishna continues, Si pram bhavati dharma ma savach chantim nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Bhakti quickly causes such a devotee to feel penitent, and this makes him saintly, which brings him eternal peace. So, Arjuna, reassure the world that my devotee never perishes. So we must be very careful in treading the path to devotional perfection. If a person faithful in devotion is considered a sadhu despite occasionally falling into very sinful behavior, then it goes without saying that a person fully absorbed in devotion is also a sadhu, even if lesser character flaws like anger or intolerance are observed in him. Blaspheming Such a devotee is an offense, and a sadhaka can never find his highest welfare unless he gives up such an offensive attitude. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs, O Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Though exalted, a Vaishnava thinks himself lower than a blade of grass. He is tolerant like a tree in two ways. A tree does not protest even when being cut down, nor does it beg for water even if it is dying from drought. A tree gives whatever riches it has to whoever asks for them. It tolerates heat and rain, but still gives shelter to others. Though he is in fact exalted, a Vaishnava should be prideless and give respect to all living entities, knowing that Krishna resides in every one of them. One who chants the holy name in this manner attains divine prema for the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Sri Narottam Das Thakur sings, do not find fault with anyone, do not become angry with anyone, rather offer obeisances to everyone's feet. Vishwanath continues in Sri Madhurya Kadambini, offering various methods for counteracting Sādhu Nindā. Offenses to the devotee, who is the reservoir of love for God, are graver than offenses to God himself, who is the ultimate object of love. Vaishnava aparad results in the drying up of the very root of bhakti and its disappearance, whereas offenses to the Lord only covers or diminishes bhakti, with the possibility of its reappearance when the effect of the offense dissipates. This shows just how much more dangerous offenses to Vaishnavas are. Aparad are odious acts based on hate and opposed to love. This adverse mood, which arises from false ego, creates a wide breach between the exalted devotees and the sadhaka devotee aspiring prema. Ego makes the aspiring devotee think himself exalted though he is fallen, and wise though he is a fool. The devotional scriptures refer to Guru, Vaishnavas, and all creatures residing in the holy Dham as Mahat, or great. Everything connected to these Mahats, from their bodies onward, is transcendental and untouched by material qualities. Even if one externally gives the Mahats respect, while inwardly harboring a mundane attitude toward them, such disrespect can deprive one of the kindness, affection, and mercy that these naturally compassionate devotees bestow. It should also be known that Mahabhagavata devotees, due to their quality of forgiveness, may not become angry with someone who commits great offenses to them. Even so, such an offender should still ask for forgiveness by paying obeisances and attending to the offended party. Vishwanath continues, quoting from the Bhagavatam, where Sati says the following to Daksha: It is not unusual for the impious, who think the body to be the self, to constantly blaspheme the Mahats. Though such great souls can tolerate their blasphemy, the dust of their feet does not. As a result, the spiritual power of these persons disappears. It is indeed proper that such offenders quickly get the effects of their blasphemy. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his commentary to this statement by Sati in the Bhagavatam, writes the following: "The dust of the Vaishnava feet is here meant to indicate the utter insignificance of the offender in comparison to the great soul. In other words, the sanctity of the great soul is so great that the misdeeds of the foolish critics rebound on them without any need for conscious intervention on his part." Vishwanath continues, "Sometimes, due to some unknown reason, or even without any reason, the all-powerful and supremely independent Mahabhagavats bestow their causeless mercy. No rules govern their compassion. For example, the Mahabhagavat Jad Bharat bestowed his mercy on King Rahugana, even though he made Jad Bharat carry his palanquin and thus rebuke him with a poisonous torrent of insults." This narration is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam's 5th canto, chapters 10 through 13. Upachara Vasu bestowed his mercy on the atheistic demons that came to kill him. This narration is given in the Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, which Sri Jiva Goswami quotes in his Bhakti Sandarbha, Anucheda 179. And the supremely compassionate Nityananda Prabhu bestowed his mercy on the sinful Madai, even though Madai had violently struck his forehead and caused a stream of blood to flow from it. This narration is found in detail in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Lila, chapter 13. Everything we have said here about blaspheming the sadhus is equally applicable to the offense of disrespecting the Guru. So what has been presented here by Vishwanath in regards to the first Namaparad, offending the Vaishnavas or sadhus, is also applicable to the third Namaparad, offending the spiritual master. Havi addresses Maharaj Nimi. "O King, one who sees the existence of his worshipful Lord in all living entities, and the presence of all living entities in his worshipful Lord, is known as Bhagavato-tama, or foremost of devotees. When a devotee, realizing the Lord in his heart, feels that all living entities have the same realization and are on the same level of divine love as he, then he is known as the foremost of devotees." I want to thank you so much for taking the time to hear this narration on Visvanatha Cakravarti's Madhurya Kadambini in regards to Sādhu Nindā. I so hope this narration has nourished your spiritual understanding. Hare Krishna.